Hi, I'm Will Bowlby, and this is the Great British Chef's Signature Series. I think the food is unique at Cricket. It's casual, it's fun. We've got open kitchens in all of our restaurants so you can see what's going on. It sheds another light on Indian food. That's the most important thing. Can't get more exciting than the streets of Old Delhi, the food and the atmosphere and the aesthetics. It's quite an experience. I think living in India, it is so very different to what I used to know here. The people are very special. It's very infectious living there. Hi, I'm Will from Cricket, and today I'm going to cook a rabbit and pork fat kebab with a Sulla sauce and pickled carrots. Starting off, we get our rabbit mince. So when I was last in Rajasthan, in India, saw rabbit on the menu, and that's quite unusual. I remember thinking that was a really interesting way of eating it. It's a flavour that is quite delicate, but it can take on spices quite well. And I just thought, right, I'd love to recreate that same rabbit curry flavour that I had back here. To the rabbit mince, you want to add pork fat. We want to do about 60-40 ratio, so 60% rabbit meat to 40% fat, so there's a lot of fat. Just going to chop up some coriander stem. The stem, a lot of people discard, but it's got more flavour than the leaves. So coriander stem into the mince. Tend to use two types of chilli in our restaurants. Fresh green chilli, and this is really used for its kind of vibrant freshness and heat. We also use dried chili, so dried Kashmiri chili. This is the powder that we get from the dried chili, and you smell it, kind of smells like smoked paprika. Some of the Kashmiri chili into your mix. A little bit of turmeric, and then our Sulla spice mix. Sulla spice mix is typically a Bengali spice mix, so it involves cinnamon, cloves, fennel, black pepper, and it goes really well with this rabbit. Strong spices like cloves, like peppercorns, cinnamon, star anise, they work really well with game. One more thing to add, and that's ginger garlic paste. So now I'm going to mix this. Just mix it really well, massage the meat, get all the spices everywhere you can. So the food we serve here at Cricket is from all over the country. It's part of the reason why we wanted to start the restaurant in the first place, is to showcase the diversity of regional and cultural cooking in India. There's a lot of research that goes into our dishes, and we only really try and give our own interpretation on these dishes if we feel like we can make them better in any way. If we don't, we leave them alone. So the next step is the carrot pickle. Into the pan we add mustard oil first, and then a tablespoon of our ginger garlic paste. Then you want to add your powdered spices, which is the chili powder and turmeric powder. So lots of spices cook at different temperatures. Obviously powdered spices react very differently to heat than whole spices. You have to respect that when you're making any kind of spice blends or cooking spices in general. In goes the carrots. This is Kasundi mustard, which is next to go into the pan. So that goes in. So these carrots are going to cook for about 6 or 7 minutes. You still want the carrots to have some bite to them. So now the carrots are cooked. This is about after 6 or 7 minutes. They've still got a good bite to them. And these will be best eaten probably a day or two after they've been cooked. So the next step is the sauce for the rabbit. It's called a Sulla sauce, and again we replicate flavours that are in the carrots and the rabbit, the same spice mix that goes into the rabbit, and it kind of helps to bring all the dish together. How you cut and cook your onions can vary from curry to curry. Slicing an onion gives you more surface area. Caramelizing your onions tend to work better with meats. That's why it's so important to cook your onions properly, because they generally form the basis of your curry, and therefore it'll affect the flavour so much how much you cook those onions. You need to have patience when cooking onions. This is Sanskrit for the Hindi word dhiraj, which means patience. My last trip to India, which was last year, I got it done, and it's never meant more ever since. So with the sauce, we get a little bit of mustard oil into the sort of medium hot pan. And then this is the most important step in your sauce to cook the onions correctly. You want the onions to soften before they brown. So your onions have softened and they've started to get some colour. And now we'll go in with the rest of our ingredients. First of all, the ginger garlic paste. And that just wants to cook off for another couple minutes just to get the raw flavour away. So next, the chili powder, turmeric powder in. That gets cooked off, and then we add the yogurt. We always use Greek yogurt in our food because it's much denser, there's less water in it. Important to whisk the yogurt before we add it into the onions. That will stop it from splitting straight away. So once you've added the yogurt, you don't want to boil it for too long, you just want to bring the temperature of the yogurt up. At this stage, we want to add our Sulla spice mix, which again is the cardamom, cloves, cinnamon, peppercorn mix. So that's that, and then we add a little bit more mustard, some salt. Cool. So now we want to blend this sauce into a smooth sauce. So just into a Thermomix or any kind of blender you have. So we're just forming the rabbit into kebabs. For this you need wet hands, so the meat doesn't stick to your hands. And you can form any shape you like. You can form little patties or you can form longer sort of sausages. I think a lot of people who don't like spicy food get put off by Indian food thinking that it's just chili heat that you get. But, you know, spices all have different properties and a lot of them aren't spicy at all. But I think people are more open these days. And then now we'll just grill the rabbit on a barbecue, or if they don't have a barbecue, then they can just use a pan and just keep the rabbit moving in the pan. You want to get a nice amount of colour on every side. You know, you want the rabbit to be cooked all the way through. Okay, I think these are about ready to go. Plating up, so trim the edges of kebab, the sauce, and then the carrots, pickle. I love how we've taken a classic flavour combination of rabbit and mustard and turned it into something that works very well with Indian food. And I love the flavour, really, of the kebab itself. I think the spices really complement the rabbit, and it really does remind me of that time in Rajasthan where I ate a rabbit curry. It's the same flavours, and I think that's what I like about it the most. Whenever I cook rabbit, I like to serve it with a carrot. I think it makes sense. This is my rabbit and pork fat kebab with Sulla sauce and pickled carrots.